Yo, what is going on? What is going on, everybody? We are back. We're back at it like a crack addict up in here, man. This is Trophy Life, episode 13. I am your host, Nicodemus, the king of indies himself. And let's go ahead and get right into it. Reintroducing my co-host for the evening. Let's start with my man, the British Beef. What's happening with you, man?
Yo, Nick. All right, Kev. All right, Tick Nation. It's Chris from the UK. Yeah, all good, man. All good. Life is treating me very well. So.
That's what's up. And Kev, what's been good with you, man?
Just enjoying that 4K life. That's the 4K life.
That 4K life? But you got an Xbox One X or something?
Got the PlayStation 4 Pro.
Oh, you don't have true 4K then, huh, fam? You don't have that uncompromised true 4K then.
He's checkerboarding.
Yeah, I'm fine with checkerboarding. It's fine. Checkerboard is. Haven't you played checkers before? Checkers is a great game.
Nick's more of a chess man, I think.
Yeah. I'm more of a chess guy, but I just heard that only thing that's gonna be true 4K is the Xbox One X, so you're not really playing in 4K. That's what I heard. On these streets.
You play Forza. Come on.
Nah, that's
kind of worms already.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, we what I'm saying, shout out to everybody joining, hit that like button, all that YouTube jargon, what I'm saying. But yeah, we've been away for a minute. We got lives, we had things going on, but we are back, and definitely good to be back. Appreciate you guys joining, checking us out, all that good stuff. We got a good show for you guys. It's not really much in the news, what I'm saying, this week or these past couple weeks that have really been, in my opinion and the panel's opinion, relative. I mean, there's some stuff been going on, but it's been talked to death. So we're not going to talk about all that today. What I'm saying? But first, before we get into anything, let's talk about these video games. Let's talk about these games out here, man, that we've been playing. So, Chris, what you been playing lately, bro?
Oh, what have I been playing? I've actually gone back to Destiny a little bit. Yeah, just been getting back into that. They've added a few extra things to do. So it's been quite interesting. I think probably Kev's been doing the same amount as well. Yeah, you've been called back to the Destiny.
So it's literally that dry that y'all both are back playing Destiny, man. Is that dry?
You know, it's not that bad.
I wanted to get back into it because I am getting really pumped for the beta. So I wanted to get my bearings back down, and it's a good thing I did because I was super bad the first day I played. I'm pretty sure I won like 2 games of like 20. But yeah,
they've treated us to a nice little extra to do with the Rise of Iron package, where you've got to try and go up through an iron level. And you do that via the Crucible, so it's been really good fun. And I've also been playing Sniper Elite 4 as well, which I picked up in the sales a couple of weeks back, and I'm quite enjoying that as well. The bullet time kill cam thing does not grow old. Does not grow old. I mean,
yeah, those games are pretty fun.
Yeah, man, everyone loves a good testy shot. That's
no joke.
So yeah, it's really a good fun game. But besides that, man, life has been busy, so that's about it, really.
Yeah, I feel you on that, man. Kev, what you been playing besides Destiny? I mean, I don't want you guys talking about Destiny too much because this ain't the Iron Lords podcast or anything like that. So,
it will be soon when 2 comes out.
Oh,
anything else, Nick?
I might have to take a hiatus, bro. Y'all got to host the show. One of y'all got to host the show or something, man.
Well, we're going to be talking about it a lot, I'm sure, next episode. The beta's next week, right? I think it's next week.
Yeah.
Oh man, that'll be a fun discussion.
Really good. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still have my issues with it, but we'll see after the beta because I'm interested to see how it plays.
So you've been on this 4K greatness, right, Kev? Like you've been like you got the Pro, you got 4K TV. Man, tell us what you've been playing and like how glorious it has been in your opinion.
So I've enjoyed it. I played. So other than Destiny, I played the Lawbreakers beta, which that's actually a really good game. People should not sleep on that game. It's really good. It's been drawing a lot of comparisons to Overwatch, which rightfully so, considering it's quote unquote hero based multiplayer only shooter. But I would say that on the outside of it, it looks like Overwatch, but it handles a lot like a Quake or I don't know if anybody played Unreal Championship or Unreal Tournament.
Yeah, I remember Unreal Tournament. Yeah, it does look like that.
So is it first person?
Yeah, it's first person. And what I really like about it is that it's not just generic cookie cutter game types that you're expecting. Bosky did a lot of work in terms of not only shifting, like putting their own spin on like a capture the flag or putting their spin on a control type of game type, domination type of game type, but also the map design really changes how the game flows in there. Like they have specific gravity pockets or low gravity pockets, which causes you to have to recalibrate how you're moving. And if you take full advantage of those pockets and you know how you're using your character, you can zip around that map so quickly. Like it's insane. I've seen people score points in a matter of seconds from grabbing let's say they're playing the game type blitzball, where it's essentially, here's a neutral ball in the center of the court, you grab it and take it to the opponent's goal and score. I've seen people score in like 4 or 5 seconds, and it's crazy and it's because they know how to use their character and they know how to use the gravity pockets in that map, and because of those combination of things where the characters have different skill ceilings, the map in general requires you to have mastery of the map in order to fully navigate the map, and you have the different types of game modes, the different spin on them. It turns into a game that requires you can jump in and play it well in the beginning, or it requires a very high skill ceiling to like fully maximize and fully gain full control of that, like whatever match you're playing. So I really enjoy it because I think the skill ceiling is very high, and it's high for a reason. So you can't just go in there and then like destroy people because you've played a first-person shooter before. It does require you to gain some mastery of some of those elements in order to do well. So I enjoyed that a lot, and it looks great in 4K. It's supposed to be optimized for 4K 60 frames per second on the Pro.
Really?
So yeah.
Native 4K 60 uncompromised?
I don't know if it's native 4K. Don't quote me on that. They specifically said
I'm sorry,
just said
man.
4K.
I'm sorry. If it ain't native 4K uncompromised, I can't get with it. I'm sorry.
Play Wipeout. Go play Wipeout.
A game is not fun, guys. Haven't you heard what's going on in these streets right now? A game is not fun unless it's native 4K uncompromised. I'm sorry. It's just not fun anymore. We have evolved, ladies and gentlemen. We have evolved. Okay.
Is it a beautiful ball?
What native 4K uncompromised games have you been playing on your 4K TV, sir?
Other than that, I mean, I've been playing Destiny for the most part. So
okay.
No 4K.
You didn't mention Destiny. You didn't mention Destiny too many damn times for me. I'm sick of y'all with Destiny talk.
You kept on asking. I'm just giving you the answer.
Nick, you wait. In a couple of months, you're gonna have to take your dog for a walk and come back again, and just leave me and Kevin to talk Destiny for 10 minutes.
Yeah, we'll see about that. We'll see about that, man. But it's all good. Love what you guys love. But I'm gonna quickly talk about the games I've been playing, because I've been playing quite a few games. You know what I'm saying? I've actually been on my Xbox more than my PlayStation. Yeah, man. I know, right? What's going on here? Like, kick me off the podcast, right? Like,
converted you.
I know the absolute blasphemy right now, but yeah, I really have, man. Like, I've been on the Xbox. I'm playing that Ori, the Blind Forest. Yeah, man. I've been playing the hell out of that.
Beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? Like, every weekend, that's really all I've been able to really get my hands on. Also, I tried Rise, Son of Rome, which I played that before, but I didn't really give it much of my time. So I actually dipped back into that because it was like the free game. I think last month I downloaded it, and so I just wanted to try it out. And it's pretty good. I mean, I always did like Rise. I just never had an Xbox back then to really, give it a chance. So I'm giving it a chance now. It's pretty cool. And then also on Xbox, I've been playing Raiders of the Broken Planet beta. It's a third-person game. It's pretty fun, man. It reminds me of I don't know. It's like a cross between like a third-person beat 'em up and a third-person cover-based shooter. It's pretty interesting. I don't know much about it because it's just a beta, but it's co-op. And right now, me and Fame, we were trying to play it, and because it's a beta, it was hard to get into a match like together and stuff. So we ended up playing solo, but so far so good. And then on the PlayStation side of things, I did actually have been playing a game called Next Machina by Housemarque. I've been playing that. I've been dominating in that. And I'm gonna say this right now. As far as my friend list goes, I'm topping the leaderboards. Like, I don't know what these guys are doing on my friends list, you know what I'm saying? But I'm killing them. I'm absolutely murdering these guys. So I just want to encourage the community, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to mention any names, Jay Barry, Jack Moo Johnny. I'm not going to mention any names on this podcast, but y'all need to step your game up out here in these streets, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm killing you guys on that Next Machina. But that's pretty much all I've been playing. I want to give a heads up, though, real quick to all the gamers out there. Being the king of indies, it would not be right if I didn't tell you that Mr. Shifty, which was on PC and Switch exclusively, is now on PS4. It dropped today. It's only $15. Mr. Shifty is a top-down action game. It's been described as X-Men meets Hotline Miami. So you definitely need to check that out. Yeah, I put it in my cart. Look, yo, go check it out. It looks really cool. It's got like 180 levels and some stuff like that. So yeah, if you like those types of games, go peep that out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna advocate on behalf of that as well. Mr. Shifty is really good.
Yo, you played what you played it on?
Well, I've seen footage and I've played a little bit on PC, but that's about it.
Okay.
But from what I've seen and what the small bit I've played, it's really good. And I would encourage people, if you're interested in looking or to see what it plays like, if you look at a Giant Bomb quick look of Mr. Shifty, they have a really good just like general breakdown of what Mr. Shifty is and how it operates. So check that out.
Yeah, peep that out. You heard me. But man, today's show, like I was saying before, you know what I'm saying, we're not going to get into like typical news type topics and stuff like that because it's not much really going on that interests us, you know what I'm saying? So but we do got topics. So the first topic today, we want to talk about Xbox. We're gonna talk about Xbox today. Basically, the Xbox One is really kicking it up with the features. You know what I'm saying? It's getting a whole lot of really interesting features like the Xbox Game Pass, which we talked about before. It's the true Netflix of gaming. They got customizable profile pics. Of course, the backwards compatibility. Now they got the original Xbox games coming backwards compatibility. And then they got this upcoming feature called Game Share, I believe, or Game Gifting, something like that. Yeah, Game Gifting, I believe it's called. That's coming up as well. So that's really kind of making the PlayStation, as far as features, look real like slim right now. Like it's looking real sparse on the PlayStation side when it comes to features. But the one thing that like gets me about that is I don't really hear many PlayStation gamers complaining about it. So I want to address that today. I want to see, from the panel and from the chat and stuff, do PlayStation gamers like really want features, or are we just like content with it being bare bones on this side while Xbox is getting all these new features, or what is it? What do y'all think it is? I mean, anybody can go. I'll throw my stuff in there too, but like, what do y'all think it is, man?
Go on, Kev.
Go, Kev.
I do think it's think it's a mixture of both. I mean, I'm always down for new features when made available. But I think at the same time, some of those features people don't necessarily, either they don't care about or they're not being vocal enough to push Sony to make those changes. And, you know, an example of that is, I know we've complained numerous times. Well, I don't want to use the word complain. Give constructive criticism of PlayStation Now in ways that Sony could fix or change PlayStation Now so that it's not only worth the money, but it's also more it's more enticing to the consumer. But you know, I do think there's I think it's a mixture of both of the things that you mentioned. I do think some of it is gamers being complacent because they're just enjoying what they currently have instead of pushing for more. But I do think if you were to ask somebody, hey, Microsoft is offering X, Y, and Z for their customer base, is that something you'd be interested in on the PlayStation side? I can guarantee you most of them would say absolutely, as long as it doesn't cost me more money.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, they do survey. They do surveys and stuff like that. I don't know how much they actually listen and stuff, because I haven't really seen many big changes on as far as the PS4. I mean, they've had some good like updates. Don't get me wrong, but as far as features go, they haven't had many, you know, big features that have interested me like whatsoever. And also, like when I'm playing on my PS4 and I'm on my PlayStation or whatever like that, I don't really think about features, honestly. Like I think I fit in the category of the complacent PS4 gamer. Like when I turn my PS4 on, I'm using it for two things, and really two things only, and that's to either play games, new games, or like watch Netflix. You know, so you know, as far as like the Xbox backwards compatibility and all that stuff, I've spoken about how, you know, I think it's cool feature, all that stuff. Me personally, I'm not interested in BC like that. Maybe the first year, you know, within the new console generation, sure. But after that, when the games start dropping as much as they drop on PS4, I really don't care. You know, as far as like the Xbox Game Pass, I think that's great. I think it's awesome. But the only reason why I'm interested in it is because they got it over there and PS4 doesn't. You know, so I think it's pretty good as far as like other gamers to have, but me personally, I probably wouldn't use it anyway. And then as far as the game gifting, now I do think that is pretty freaking dope. I think that's pretty dope. Because doesn't PC already do that? Like doesn't Steam already do the game gifting?
So I guess it would be helpful to have a rundown, because I don't fully understand, and that's just because I've been out of the loop on that end. But are you saying that the game gifting is what it sounds like, essentially, where you can go and gift somebody a game, or is it a trial of a game? Like, what is this?
It's supposed to be gifting of a game. Like it's not out right now, and there's no like official like release of when it's coming. It's just speculated that it's coming. It's supposed to be real true game gifting.
I like this. Okay. I like the sound of that, because I often, like, for my friends, I often kind of give them, like, I have to give them kind of credit or like that. But sometimes, like on, say, CD keys, they have games. So like Xbox, they have more Xbox games than they do PlayStation games. So it's quite nice just to kind of gift the game, you know, your friend hasn't got, like that. It's quite good. So normally I would send across the code to them, but to send it straight to their Xbox or PlayStation, I think would be a really good feature to have.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. And to your point, Nick, yeah, like you can do game gifting on Steam already. I do think there are things that both Microsoft and PlayStation, which I do think the Xbox end is playing more to that strength now of adopting certain things that have been on Steam for a while now.
Yeah, they are.
And I think they both can learn from that.
I think also they're trying to get the Windows store or the Xbox store kind of on PC, trying to get it a little bit more in line with Steam as well, so it becomes a bit more popular for PC users.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense.
Where they're kind of going with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those definitely good reasons and stuff. But regardless of the reason, they are stepping the game up big time as far as the features go. And I think in the beginning, I think Xbox has always been ahead as far as features go in general. They've always been ahead on that. The problem with everybody that they had with Xbox was that they lacked games and stuff. But now they're kicking it up with the games, and the features are also, they haven't lost as far as like their stride and bringing great features as well. So I think on the PlayStation side, they always had the games. Saying they kicked it up, 10 notches on the game side, but they just don't give a damn about features. They just don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care at all.
I think that goes back to Sony's ideology from the beginning about how online would impact their services. I mean, you look back at how long it took them to formulate their own solid infrastructure for the PlayStation Network as opposed to Xbox Live, and then you saw how Xbox Live like far surpassed PlayStation Network in terms of trophy support, or they had achievements obviously, and then it took a few years for PlayStation to catch up and say, oh, people actually really care about what these achievements are, why don't we create trophies and things like that. I think it's part of the Japanese mentality in the company that is still holding them back in that regard. I mean, Nintendo suffers from the same thing. I mean, look at the fiasco that is the Switch Online infrastructure.
Yeah.
That is unacceptable.
You can't even call that an infrastructure. There's no.
Yeah, I mean, considering the original Xbox in 2002 had a better online infrastructure for Xbox Live than the Switch does, like, come on. So I do think it's inherent in the Japanese ideology of how games should function, and them originally doubling down on the fact that online was not going to be a thing.
Yeah.
And then it turned out it was.
To be fair though, on the PlayStation side of things, they did state in the beginning that this thing is a games console. Like, they weren't really interested in, providing the features and all that stuff that Xbox was. They said, this is a games console. This is all we're focused on is the games. And that's really what they've been doing. Like, so you can't even like fault them for that. If that is like their vision, that's been the plan, and they continually doing that, sticking with the plan. I mean, you can't fault them for that. But the only thing is that in comparison to the competition, people are going to start looking like, well, why don't we have that? Whether they're going to use it or not, people are going to start looking like, well, why don't we have that? Why don't we have this? Like, you continually hearing Xbox in the news, Xbox getting this, Xbox getting that, saying, no, Xbox not getting any games so far this year. But still, they're still in the news with all these features and stuff. And no matter how many games we got over here on the PlayStation side, how people are. They were like, well, I want that too, even though they don't want it, So, I think PlayStation kind of needs to need to step it up in that regard, especially the good features, like the game gifting stuff. Yes. PlayStation Now, for those who are interested in backwards compatibility, they need to fix that crap because it's garbage.
It sounds like, honest to God, like Sony has taken so many half steps in comparison to Microsoft. So like all of these things that Microsoft has, for a good, I'd say maybe 50 to 75% of those features, PlayStation has a half-assed equivalent. So like in terms of the game sharing, right? You can do the share screen thing on PlayStation where I can, and I've used it before, where my friend, who lives in the next state says, oh, I want to try a game, but I don't want to go and buy it. And I say, okay, here over the internet, I'm going to connect you to my PlayStation and you can try this game. Right. And they take control of the game for 2 hours or whatever. Mm-hmm. But that's obviously not the same thing as the game gifting, but like, it's like a half step.
Yeah.
So I feel like they need to reevaluate. If they're going to incorporate features, they need to sit down and have like a coming to Jesus moment and see which ones they're going to go full step on, and then not do the ones that they're only going to do a half step on.
Wait, that half step you talking about that share play? You talking about share play?
Yeah, share play. Where I mean, it's great that they're able to
People don't use that.
I'm able to give my friend.
People don't even use
it. Well, and that's part of the problem, right? Because it is this half step that was then buried. It wasn't initially part of the system when it launched, and when it was incorporated, it was like, oh, we have this thing, you can or cannot use it, whatever, and people just end up not using it. I've used it a handful of times just because I know it's there.
Yeah.
And I've given control to one of my friends of a game, and he's played it for like an hour, 2 hours before deciding to buy it or not.
Yeah, it's a cool, interesting little feature. I forgot all about it though, man. Honestly, I used to use it when it first came out too.
Right, and that's the thing. Like there are a lot of half steps that are taken, and I do think they need to reevaluate what they're putting money into in terms of features and go the full way, as opposed to taking half steps. And then you have their competition coming out with the full step and saying, "Hey, we're doing this." Like it's the same thing with. I think Microsoft announced that they're going to at least try to beta having a return policy on digital content.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that PlayStation could implement as well. They're not going to, but that is something that they could implement.
Yeah.
So I do think they need to just reevaluate and focus on a core set of things and do it all the way, as opposed to doing all of those different features that are all buried in the system UI, and then it's not even all the way there.
Right, I agree. They need to step their game up, definitely in that department. Deliver the games. They've been doing great year as far as gaming for PlayStation, but they do need to step it up with the features. We're gonna move on from that topic. Let us know in the hold on real quick. My man Sam wanted to say, he stated that it should have EA access as well. I forgot about that as well. I guess you can consider that a feature, I guess, that Xbox got that.
I would. That is a significant advantage. Like when you see like last year when streamers were all on Twitch and YouTube Live playing Battlefield 1 on the Xbox, like the weekend before it came out on all consoles universally, or that were out at that time anyway. Like I would consider that a strategic advantage and a platform for them.
Yeah. Step your game up, PlayStation. Step it up, Uncle Shoe. Let's get these features over here, whether we want them or not. We want some more features. So let's move on. So Crash Bandicoot has released. A lot of people playing Crash. I think it's the fastest selling PlayStation exclusive this year. It even beat like Horizon, which is crazy. So yeah, big shout out to Crash and all that good stuff. I personally wasn't feeling it when I tried the demo for it and stuff, so I didn't buy it. I'm gonna wait till it goes down in price. I just wasn't feeling like the controls. I've stated before, if they felt pretty like outdated, and I just wasn't feeling it. But I think I came to the conclusion, I think it's because I was playing Crash 1, and everybody tells me that Crash 2 and 3 feel a lot better or whatever. So I may need to go revisit my evaluation of it. But a lot of people have been having problems with this game. A lot of people have been having struggles. They've been struggling out here in the streets with Crash, saying it's kind of like hard. It's like too hard. And I personally don't remember Crash being hard. I didn't play 3. I think I played 1 and 2. But I don't remember Crash being hard enough to where I actually like raged on Crash. Maybe I'm forgetting, but I don't remember it being that hard. But they got people raging out here. And in fact, you got so-called quote-unquote publications such as GameSpot who review the game, and they gave the difficulty a minus, stating that it has like crazy difficulty spikes that they could have ironed out a little better, aka make it easier for them. And also they didn't even finish the game. They played like halfway through each one of the games, then gave it a review, and they ended up giving it a 6 as a result. And I've been watching like people's streams and stuff, and you got people simple platforming stuff, like just simple like jumping from platform to platform, avoiding standard obstacles. I'm watching them play it, and they keep falling off the cliff, and they rage, throw their controllers. They get mad out here. So I don't personally understand it. Don't think I'm the best gamer in the world or anything like that. I am the god of platformers. I am, okay? But I'm not the best gamer in the world, so I don't understand why people are having so much trouble. I think it's indicative of the gamers these days. I think gamers are pretty soft and cookie dough these days, and they're not used to hard games like this. So what do you guys think, man? Like, what do you think's going on out here in these streets? Like, are gamers like that soft? Like, we're not used to hard games anymore?
Honestly, Nick, if Battletoads comes out as a remaster, people are going to have meltdowns. It's going to be bad.
If they come back with a remaster and keep that difficulty the same, yeah. Now that was a hard game.
Keep that hover bike level, man. That was ridiculous. And then if they remaster, do you remember the original Ninja Turtles game on the SNES?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Oh
yes. That game was. Oh my god, that game caused me. I don't think I even beat that game.
That underwater level.
Yeah, I didn't beat that game. I know I didn't. That game was horrible.
Man. So games were brutal, but you've got to remember that games are also shorter as well. So they had to make them brutal. So gamers would be playing them for longer. So they may have like a 6-hour game, but because they were so brutally hard, you were playing it for hours and hours and hours like that. And that's what they used to do with those games. Like sometimes they would make games that were just so difficult, people just couldn't complete them, like the games we've just mentioned.
Yeah,
which were just ridiculous. You get to a point and you just think, nah, I'm all right, thanks. So I think gamers today, I think it's the sign of that. But I think there's a lot worse remasters they could give people to play. I think something like Super Meat Boy gave people a little bit of a taste of what it can get. But yeah, I think a lot of people have been put to the sword by Crash. So it's quite interesting to see.
I blame the publishers, I blame the industry and stuff, honestly, for how soft gamers have become. Because
quick save is what you need to blame.
Yeah,
quick save and checkpoints, man.
Checkpoints, definitely. I think because of the way they designed these games, they wanted to make it to where it's like more appealing to a bigger audience, and so they basically have dumbed down games to the point where it makes people feel good. Like they want people to feel good about themselves. They want people to, be able to easily go through these games, beat these games, get to the multiplayer so you can spend more money, microtransactions, all this other stuff. I just think that the culture of gaming has changed over the years in such a way that when we get those publishers that come out and they don't give a damn about your life, they don't give a damn about your feelings. When you get those rare ones, like the From Softwares and stuff like that want you to fail at the game, because that's how games used to be. Like developers used to make games as a challenge to you. You know what I'm saying? Like they wanted you to fail at the game. They did not want you to succeed. They did not want you to beat the game easy if they wanted you to beat it at all. That's how they used to think about gaming. You know what I'm saying? This was my challenge to you, gamer. See if you can beat my game. That's how they used to think of it. Now it's like, feel good about my game because I want you to tell your friends about it, how much fun you're having with it, because you were able to go through it, beat it, and stuff like that. I want you guys to buy it up and stuff like that. So I think that's the reason why.
Interesting. I think as an adult, I think I have less time for games like that.
The difficult
games. When I was a kid, I had all the time in the world, and I was like, all I want to do is game and play. I'll call it soccer because it's basically an American podcast. That's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to do those two things in my life: is game and play football. And like now I've got much more responsibility, so I don't have time to keep playing a game and a game and a game and a game. Don't get me wrong, I love me a challenge, but it has to really float my boat. Like when I was a kid, man, I would have played anything. Man, I played games like Bubsy, man, and I would have been like just on it and on it and on it and on it. But like now I'd look at Bubsy and think, nah, you're right, thanks. I'd rather play something.
But here's the thing. Like when we were kids, it didn't take us that long to beat those games. I remember playing Mega Man as a kid. And I would go through Mega Man. Like, it was challenging. I would die and stuff like that. But I would go through Mega Man. I would beat Mega Man games. So in my adult life, I picked up Mega Man. I was like, oh man, yeah, Mega Man. I remember how fun this used to be. I picked it up, and dude, I couldn't get past like the first level. Like that shit was hard, bro. I'm like, I don't even remember it being this hard because back then I was used to that type of game. Like I don't know. I was just better. I was just better at games because that's all we were used to. So we became conditioned to those type of games to the point where our skills were better. And you know what I'm saying? So like I think that, you know, you say you don't have time for it. Yeah, you don't, because you're soft. Like it takes you longer to beat hard games. I'm soft. You know what I'm saying? It takes me longer to beat hard games because we don't have that like that anymore.
It's interesting what you say about platformers, Nick, because I think if a game is like a first-person shooter, I think I'm probably going to be better at it. So I think gamers maybe their skill set has changed. Like I remember, like when you're first playing like GoldenEye on the N64, and you had the analog controls, and you go around like that. That was quite tough to get your head around. Like now, like you play it and it's not a problem at all. And that's the thing, is you go back and you play older shooters and you just absolutely blitz them because you're so conditioned for that. And it's interesting what you were saying about you're conditioned for platformers. I think a lot of people aren't conditioned for that sort of level of intensity when it comes to the platformers. So I think you're spot on there, mate.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, just going off of that, I think you're spot on with that. Where, but
hold on, real quick, Kev. Why Kev come in here sounding like the guy from Office Space? Talking about something. Yeah. Who was that? Dunbar? What was his name?
Yeah, Dunbar. Yeah, I think it was Dunbar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna need you to come in on Saturday.
Yeah. And Sunday. I'm gonna need you to get out those TS reports. Yeah.
But I do agree with what you said in terms of, you know, gamers are not conditioned for platformers anymore. I mean, we've seen, even looking from an industry perspective, we've seen a decline in those type of 3D platformers. I mean, the only notable ones you see around, at least in the last, that aren't a remaster, in the last like generation, has been akin to your Mario-esque games, right? You haven't seen anything like a Crash Bandicoot, and even at that, like you saw Ratchet and Clank, but that was from the PS2 era. Things had changed between when Crash Bandicoot came out and when Ratchet and Clank came out. So I do think it is a change in conditioning because of how the industry changed. You don't see platformers like Crash Bandicoot anymore. Even at that, I'm sure some of my fiance's cousins have never played a Sonic the Hedgehog game, like even the 3D ones. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy things like that where most of them are they grew up in the Call of Duty era.
It's the end of the world, man. You ain't played a Sonic game, and you're a gamer. It's the end of the world.
And like that's not to sit there. That's not to sit there and condemn a generation for what they grew up playing. Mainly because they're only a byproduct of what is given to them.
Nah, Cam, they're going to hell, man. They all going to hell, man.
They're merely a byproduct of what was given to them. But that only goes to show that there has been a sharp decline in platforms like Crash Bandicoot, and that could contribute to the quote unquote difficulty curve. But having said that, I don't think that should be used as a fault for a game, because then at that point, like how do you go down the line of critiquing a game like that versus a Dark Souls, right?
Yeah,
it's used as an advantage in the game. Granted, it's meant to be difficult, but Crash is also meant to be difficult, not in the same way, but
right. Yeah.
So how do you parse through that and determine when to use it as a positive and when to use it as a negative?
Man, I tell you, Kev, if they'd brought out Dark Souls for the Super Nintendo, you wouldn't even be able to turn the cartridge on. That would be a challenge on its own. You'd have to try and figure out how the cartridge works. It doesn't work the normal way, man. It would be brutal, absolutely brutal.
Here, yo, crazy. Nah, I get it. You know, it's a multiple factors these days. But I mean, you know, it's not really even the gamer's fault. You know, it's just the industry, how things have changed. And yeah, it's crazy. I didn't even think about that though, Kev. Like, there are people who have never played Sonic the Hedgehog. That's not as many Sonic the Hedgehog games there are out. There are people who are born with a controller in their hand and Call of Duty in the system. That's just exactly. Yeah. And those games are not challenging. I mean, even if you put it on veteran. Oh, that's another thing. You know, back in the day, there were a lot of games where you didn't get to choose the difficulty. You know, so that, you know, they changed that up. And a lot of games these days, you know, even the hard difficulty isn't really like that hard. You know, it's like to the point where the hard difficulty is basically you just get less health and maybe less ammo and there's more enemies. It's not really like challenging like that. I mean, some games, don't get me wrong, some games are like you put it on the hard difficulty, it's gonna be challenging, but most games is not the same, man. Like you put on hard and it's not that difficult still. So
yeah, I mean, you're saying like the version of hard now is more so to make you take more damage and the opponent is a bullet sponge.
That's basically it.
As opposed
to it. Yeah.
Going and adding like a new mechanic that wasn't originally there before.
Yeah, or even the AI being smarter. Like it used to be when you put on hard difficulty, the AI was actually smart. Like you could tell the difference between normal and hard as far as AI goes. Now you really can't. I mean, it's basically the same. It's just, you know, they take more damage, you take less damage. That's hard to everybody now.
Yeah.
Or most. I'm not saying everybody, but most developers. There's some that do it right.
Right. And just one quick note, Chris Cobra in the chat mentioned that he's not cool anymore because he's not part of the millennial generation. I will note that when I'm talking about those who haven't played Sonic the Hedgehog or anything, I'm not specifically saying millennials because technically I'm a millennial. I'm talking about those who are in, you know, they're turning into teenagers now, or they're on the cusp of becoming 18 because they're not millennials now. They are, I think Gen Z is technically their name.
Y'all sexual preference is y'all business though. I mean, that's y'all business. I mean, whether you're millennial, straight, whatever, it doesn't matter, man. It's all good. I mean, be yourself, man.
These are the kids who grew up not knowing what a dial tone is. That's what I'm saying.
More so, like, man, I don't even know what I mean when I say you've got mail.
Well, right. I mean, to the point where I'm pretty sure they also didn't grow up with home landlines. You know what I mean? Or
nothing against them. It's just how they're growing up. This is society. Things change.
Okay, interestingly, I can kind of segue us to the next bit, which is name the hardest game you've ever played. Now, I put down on mine, there was one game on the Game Boy, the original Game Boy, and it was in line with the Terminator 2 film. And the first part of the game, you had to destroy towers in a sequence. Okay, now this is showing the age of the game. Is that, okay, like you would just look it up on the internet. Back in 92, not a chance. You'd have to do it by trial and error. And I think there was something ridiculous, like 15 towers, and you'd have to do them in a sequence. And I remember being like absolutely frustrated with this game. And I found a guidebook that came with a gaming magazine, which told me the sequence. And that's the only way I got past the first level of this game. And I think I had that game for 6 months before, and that shows you just like that's just evil. And that's evil, but that is before the internet.
So, I remember guidebooks.
Man, guidebooks were what they were all about.
They were. Man, they still were my saving grace sometimes.
And if they still didn't work, you'd have a game genie.
Yeah,
that would be it. So,
what was the name of that game? What was the name? Terminator what?
I think it was just Terminator 2 Judgment Day. It was the Game Boy version of it. And literally the first level is this tower sequence thing. Oh, man. I just was like, no. I've still got it, and I will not play it to this day. I've still got my Game Boy, and I've still got all my games. And I look at that game and go, just bad memories. Screw you, you know.
So that's the hardest game you've ever played?
I wouldn't say it was the hardest, but like, you know, when you were saying about how developers just made games to be evil.
Yeah.
That's
definitely an example. Do y'all remember this game? Since we talking about hardest games we ever played, like y'all remember this game called Target Earth?
Target Earth. What was it on?
It was on. I played it on Sega Genesis. So Target Earth, basically you're in this mech suit. It's side scrolling. You're in this mech suit, and you're basically fighting off like, I believe it was like an alien invasion. I was real little. I was a little kid, so I didn't really pay attention to the story, obviously. But I think you're fighting off this alien invasion, and this game was so freaking brutal, man. Like one hit would kill you. Like it was like almost like bullet hell, like the version of bullet hell back then. It was almost like bullet hell shooter, and one hit or maybe two hits would just kill you. You'd be dead, and you just have to start from the beginning. Like I literally could not get past the first stage without using a cheat code that gave me invincibility. Like
Nick, what was it called?
Target Earth.
I'll look it up.
Target Earth on Sega Genesis. I literally could not get past the first stage at all without using a cheat code. And then so I used the cheat code. I'm not gonna lie, I don't care. I have nothing to be ashamed of. I used the cheat code to gain invincibility, and so I started going through the game. And I'm sitting here playing this game like it wasn't even a short game. I'm sitting here playing this game like there is literally no way anybody could get past and beat this game without using this cheat code. There's no way, because it got harder and harder and harder with those same stipulations. I didn't get upgrades like that, like as far as health and stuff goes. I didn't get like power-ups to make me stronger and all this stuff that I can remember. It was designed to kill you. Like you were not supposed to beat this game without that cheat code. It was designed to kill you. So that was like, if not the hardest game I played, and that was like unfair hard. Like there's a difference between like, a challenging game and just something that's just unfair. That game was unfair. But I will never forget that crap. I will never forget it in all my life. Like my mom, like we didn't have many like games and stuff. We weren't able to buy a lot of stuff, and she bought us that and stuff. And I was like, it was either play that or Sonic, and we had played the hell out of Sonic. Like Sonic 1, we played that for like a whole year straight. That's all we had. And so got Target Earth, and I'm like, okay, we got a new game, and it's like we had no choice, man. We had to adapt. We had to figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Chris Crover in the chat has just mentioned Contra. Oh, Contra.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a great game! But man, was that hard as hell.
That was hard, but that was fun. That was a fun. That was a fun, challenging game. Like co-op. You know what I'm saying? That was amazing.
The worst I played, which was old but like just terrible, was Bubsy the Bobcat on the Super Nintendo. I remember that game being really tough.
Bobcat? I don't remember that.
But yeah, man, just don't even look it up. It's not worth it. It's not worth its time. I have bad memories of that game. I remember it just being almost broken, so it just didn't work. It just didn't work properly. It was terrible. So, but yeah, I think the two I mentioned before, Battletoads and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one, especially because I was at the age where I loved the Turtles. That game just broke me.
It did. It was like the Ninja Turtle arcade game. That was challenging, but it was like actually fun challenging.
Arcade game. Yeah. And that was in time. Oh
yeah, the Turtle in Time wasn't challenging, but the arcade game, it was challenging, but it was fun challenging. That Ninja Turtle game you're talking about on the NES or whatever. Yeah, that game, I hated that crap. I hated it. It was just they made that thing just too hard. Like I was like, this is a kid's game. I'm not having fun with this. It's not fun right now. It was just unfair. It was one of those unfair, challenging games. Y'all remember this one not that old, but Ninja Gaiden 2.
Yeah.
Ninja Gaiden 2 was a fun, challenging game that did not give a damn about your feelings. I remember playing that game on 360, man. It was amazing. Great story, great enemies, bosses. But man, that game ran me through, man. Like I had to play nothing but that game. And that's the thing. Like these types of games, man, is to the point, they're so challenging to the point like you cannot play or focus on anything else. Like that's how these games are. Like you couldn't play or focus on anything else. And if you did, you know what I'm saying, you were gonna like lose. It's like you forgot how to ride a motorcycle or something. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to really like be invested in these games if you had any hopes of beating them. You know, like right now we play games and we go back and forth. Like we're not committed to these games. We're freaking digital sluts out here. You know what I'm saying? We're digital sluts out here in these streets. But you had to be committed. Like these games were designed for you to marry them. You had to get down on one knee, give them that ring, and commit to this if you were going to conquer them. You know?
Trust me, those games were harder than marriage.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
I can attest to that.
Hard.
I can attest to that. They were, but it was definitely satisfying. Like when you beat, like when I beat Ninja Gaiden 2, as mad as I got about it, as much time as I would like argue with it and not talk to it for days, you know what I'm saying, and then come back to it. You know, at the end of the day, when I beat it, I felt so like satisfied. Like it was just like, yes, I am a somebody. I have done something right with my life right now. You know, like games like that made me feel like that. You know, so
I think I find pretty much every fighting game when you get to the last boss is just the worst. But you absolutely nail the normal roster, and then you get to the end, you'd be fighting Goro or what's his name? I was going to call him Shaka Khan. That's not right. Shao Kahn.
This man, Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan. Or he's the Bison or somebody like that. Right, you've got the person right at the end, and they just absolutely kick your ass for hours and days, and you're like, "Come on, I've just got to beat this one guy." That is one of the like growing up. That is the thing I remember about fighting games, that you could nail the whole roster, and you get to the last guy, and it was hell on earth.
What's the most challenging games you guys have played this generation? Starting in 2013, this generation started. What's the most challenging game y'all have played?
Ooh. Mate, pressure.
I mean, if we're gonna be cheap about it, the hardest one would probably be a Dark Souls.
Dark Souls? Which one? Dark Souls. Did Dark Souls 2 come out this generation?
Yes. Dark Souls 2. Yeah, I think Dark Souls did come out this generation. Dark Souls 2 and 3 came out this generation, I think.
Okay.
If I recall correctly.
And then From Software made Bloodborne as well.
Yeah. But I would probably say Dark Souls 2.
Dark Souls 2.
I know I tried the first, I don't know, hour of it, and then I was like, nope, never mind. And dropped it. Because I was like, nah, I'm not here to frustrate myself. I only have infinite, so much amount of time to play, and I'm not going to spend it frustrated all the time. So.
I've got mine, and it is a game I bought on early access on PC, and it is a racing game, and it is Dirt Rally.
Dirt Rally,
which has been described as the Dark Souls of racing games.
Oh, man.
Anyone that has played it, it is absolutely brutal.
I've heard of that game. What makes it hard, though? What makes it that?
It's the probably closest realistic to actual kind of rally. The concentration levels you've got to have for it are unbelievable. It's just brutal. Some games you can play, and it just takes, you can kind of come off the side of the road and you can kind of catch it again. With this, didn't do anything. And it's the classic thing where they didn't have an easy option. They just didn't make it easy at all like that. You couldn't you couldn't make it, more grippy or anything like that. It was just brutal. It was absolutely brutal. They've made it in VR as well, which just is horrendous thought.
Does it give you a real headache in VR?
I haven't tried it. I know that I'm going to be vomiting within about the first 2 minutes. I would say easy. So easy.
Damn. Easy. Dirt Rally. That's interesting. Racing game. That's interesting. I would say this gen, the most difficult game I played is Bloodborne. I was trying to think of something that I played that's more difficult or wasn't as easy to state or less known, I would say, but Nah, it's Bloodborne. I mean, it wasn't to the point where I got on Bloodborne, I was crying like a little biatch or anything like that, like a lot of these gamers were. You know, I got on Bloodborne knowing that it was going to be difficult. You know, I took my time with it. I took all the proper precautions. I died quite a bit, but it never lost its fun factor for me. You know, saying I didn't like rage too much at any boss really. You know, I think the boss that a lot of people were having trouble with, I didn't have trouble with. I didn't have trouble with the Bloodstar Beast like that. I think a lot of people I was watching on YouTube and stuff, they were raging about that crap. And I remember my brothers, they got Bloodborne before me. They got Bloodborne before me. And I'd be in the party chat with them, and they were just crying. They were crying like, oh my God, the game's so hard. I can't get past the first level. Why do I keep dying? And I'm like, oh man. I was like, that sucks for you guys. I was like, let me tell you guys something. I'm getting this game next week. And if you're not past the first level and I get this game and get past the first level, you're never going to hit the end of it. Never. And they know how I am. A lot of people, they know how I am. Like, I like to brag. I'm light-skinned. I like to brag and throw things in people's faces. And so they stepped their game up, man. Like, that was their inspiration. So they started going through the game a little quicker because I said that. And I got it, and I think I still beat it before them. But, you know, that was the most challenging game to me. It was just fun, man. Great, well-done game this gen. I've had other games that have been, I would say, just as challenging, but I thought they were kind of like cheap as far as, you know, as far as a challenge would go. Like, I felt like, you know, it was one of those games where you get less health, they get more health and stuff like that. I don't consider that, you know, a real challenge. You know, I think this is cheap, you know, so.
I think I've found that games are more frustrating than a challenge, you know what I mean? So there are certain like games that are a little bit broken.
Yeah,
so
that's not a challenging game.
Yeah. It's frustrating more than finding out something hard. There's things like I've just finished the Order 1886, and there's a bit where you have to go through this garden and stealth kill the guards.
Yeah,
it's pretty much broken. Like you're just waiting for the quick time button to appear, and you walk right up to them, and then they turn around and shoot you, and you're like, this is just frustrating. I did it in the end, but you're just like, that's not fun. That's not a challenge. That's not a hard, fun challenge. That's just because the game is not responding how you want it to.
Right. No, those types of games and parts in game, they don't count.
And nah. But that's what I'm saying is that I don't find games particularly hard, but I find sometimes just the mechanics of some games very frustrating. And just certain sections of certain games.
That's what's up. So yeah, let us know in the comments if you're watching this video later. Let us know what is the hardest game you have played this gen, and then also let us know what are some of the hardest games you have ever played. We'd be interested to know about that. So we're gonna move on to our final topic. You know what I'm saying? Is the main topic is our personal favorite PlayStation game so far this year. So I want to hit a couple of things on this. First, I want everybody to state what have been your favorite exclusives and or console exclusives. Because when we talk about exclusives, since we're primarily, you know, console gamers, if it's on one console and it's not on the other, that still counts as well. So I want to make sure everybody understands what I'm asking here. You know, so what's your favorite exclusive / console exclusive? Kev, what's it looking like for you this year, sir? Destiny does not count because it's actually on other platforms. It didn't come out this year, and yeah, okay. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. That's a stipulation, everybody. It has to be this year. You know, it came out in January to now. Okay, all right.
So no Destiny 2. All right. So
no future Doctor Who. Flash.
So I would say now I haven't had the chance to fully play it yet. But for console exclusive, currently right now, as much as I would want to say a Horizon Zero Dawn, I haven't technically played that yet. But I did briefly start Persona.
Get a job at GameStop.
Persona 5 is really good. I love that soundtrack. Like it, don't know if I'm going to finish it because it requires 100 hours at least, and I don't have that kind of time, but we'll see.
100 hours.
Yeah, like one playthrough is between 90 to 100 hours baseline. Most people I've heard have beat 95 to 110 hours for first playthrough.
Where do people get these hours? Can you go somewhere and buy more hours in the day?
Yeah,
I didn't even know my friend borrowed his copy of it, and like he got it, I don't know, like a month ago, and just finished it, and it's like, okay, well, you spent the whole month playing that one game for the most part.
I ain't got time to commit to one game like that, man. I mean, The Witcher, I still ain't even finished that yet. I gotta get back to that. Crazy.
Trish life.
But yeah, I would say Persona 5. I mean,
Persona.
Not only does it hit the anime niche for me, being a huge anime fan, but the complexity of combat, the sheer that it has, like it's if for Game of the Year awards from other outlets, if it doesn't show up in the most stylish game category, then it was robbed. Because that, I will at least say, in general, nobody could tell me otherwise. Persona 5 is the most stylish game that has released this year.
Okay. All right. Chris, the British Beef. What is your favorite PlayStation 4 exclusive this year so far, sir?
I'm going to be really boring and say 3 little words. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, of course. Did you beat this game yet?
Yeah, I'll be it, man.
Oh, okay.
I'm working my way through to get as much as I can. I would love to get a platinum on it. It's just time, really, and then wanting a new challenge. I've got to say, I've really enjoyed playing the Wipeout collection as well. That's been a really good trip down memory lane, and they've done a real nice job of up-resing it. But I think I really enjoyed the story in Horizon and the mechanics. I love, the mechanics they've stole from a lot of different games, which I really enjoy. So, I would say that is so far my favorite.
Okay. Not bad. That Horizon definitely a crowd pleaser. A lot of people is on, that game right now. But as far as exclusive or console exclusive for me, I'm going to have to go with, and everybody should know this as much as I was hyping this game, I'm talking about this game, Nier Automata. Nier Automata so far is my game of the year, period. So far, like, is absolutely my game of the year. Is amazing game.
Exclusive.
It's console exclusive.
Oh, there we go. It's good.
Yeah.
That also has a really good soundtrack for the record.
Yep, it does. It's amazing. Like that Nier soundtrack is something that I will just listen in my car and just ride in my car and listen to that stuff, man. Like it's amazing. Amazing soundtrack, amazing story. Like the way they did the story, broke it up like that. It's just different. It's just absolutely different, man. It's like you think you're done, and next thing you know, it's like, okay, I'm not done. This can't be as good as what I just played, and they find a way to amp it up and take it up another notch. It just escalates. It's constantly like escalating, man, and everything just comes together. It makes sense. Like you're not in the dark too much on things, and if you are in the dark, it does get revealed, and it does leave a little mystery there, some minor interpretation, but the game it does you justice as far as story goes. So absolutely love that game. And I would also say, as far as console exclusive, I put also Next Machina in there as well, because I've been playing that a lot, and I love Housemarque games. And so that would have to be like my other favorite console exclusive so far this year. Now, a lot of us, Horizon Zero Dawn, Chris did mention, but there've been some really great like PlayStation exclusives like that has released this year that I haven't got a chance to play. And maybe if I did, maybe they would rival or be better than Nier. I don't know. But like Yakuza 0, that's like on my list that I want to play. Neo or Nio, however you want to pronounce it. That's Neo. That's another one that I do definitely want to play. I played like the beta for it and demo and stuff like that, and I actually did really like it. But it's one of those games like Bloodborne that I have to like make time for. You know, it's like one of those games like I can't play other things. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't been able to be faithful like that yet for it. And then What Remains of Edith Finch is another one that's definitely on my list. That's a PlayStation exclusive as well. So it's just time, man. Like Chris said before, it's like, where do you get the time to play all these games? So I definitely want to get to them because there's a lot of great PlayStation exclusives that dropped this year. Now, as far as so Chris, you said Horizon Zero Dawn, the typical one that all PlayStation gamers usually say. Kev, what was the one you said? What was it? Oh, Persona 5, which a lot of people, PlayStation gamers, do like that as well. Now, how about third-party games? Like, what have been y'all favorite third-party games so far this year?
Go on, Kev.
Go on, Kev, get it. Come on.
No, I need to think about it for a second because, like, I've played a few, but I'm trying to make sure the one I'm going to say actually came out this year as opposed to.
All right, but Google it real quick.
I've got mine, man.
You got yours? All right, go ahead, because I got mine too.
So I would probably say I really enjoyed Resident Evil 7.
Oh, okay.
And I'm currently, like I said earlier in the show, I'm enjoying Sniper Elite 4. So I think I've had a year where I've been catching up on last year's games as well, a little bit as well, and some that I just haven't played. So I've been playing quite a few of them. One game I did enjoy, which I thought was more interesting than particularly good, was the Late Shift. I'm a big kind of Telltale fan, so I'm kind of used to dodgy mechanics and so on. But this was quite interesting. It was a live action version of it, and I think it would probably be on I was going to say Games of Gold. Oh, bad. I think it will be on free games for the month.
This man said Games of Gold. Where's your head at, man?
I know.
Where's your head at? Craziness.
I think it's very much one of those games I wouldn't recommend people to really get out and buy it unless they watch the trailer and think it's quite interesting. But it's just an interesting concept of how to do Telltale, but like the next level.
And live action. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, it just had some clever little things about it as well. But yeah, no, I'd probably, if I had to pick one, probably Resident Evil 7.
Resident Evil 7. All right, so I got
not in VR.
Not in VR. Yeah, you're a smart man.
That's too scary
smart
for me.
Man. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I wouldn't do that either, man. I ain't no punk or nothing like that, but I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't. So as far as me, you already know, everybody knows I'm the king of indies. I am the god of platformers. So some of these games, you people probably gonna be like, what? What? You picking this over this? Yes, I am. I'm basing it on the games I enjoy. Okay, not what you people enjoy, what I enjoy. All right. So I got 3 of them. I got 3 third-party games that I think are the best so far this year. Wonder Boy, The Dragon's Trap. Yes, it's a side-scrolling indie game. It's hand-drawn, beautifully crafted. It's absolutely fun. It is actually pretty challenging as well. And so, yeah, Wonder Boy, The Dragon's Trap is one. It's only like 3-4 hours long. I don't care. It was fun. Okay, I loved it. The next one is going to be Little Nightmares. Little Nightmares, yes, another smaller title game. But Little Nightmares definitely did surprise me. I was like, another Limbo Inside type of game, blah, blah, blah. But it actually just surprised me. The puzzles were great. They weren't like super challenging or anything like that, but they were challenging enough to keep me interested. And, it had a story to it. It had a story that it really didn't tell you, what I'm saying? There was no, as far as like vocals or anything like that. There was none of that, but it was a story that you could follow, and it did really well telling the story through the gameplay. So I love Little Nightmares. And then the third one, it would have to be Rhyme, another puzzle platformer type of game as well. And so out of those 3, I would have to say my favorite third-party game so far, just based on time played and stuff like that, would have to be Wonder Boy, ladies and gentlemen. Wonder Boy. It's not It's not a Call of Duty game. Nope. It's not Resident Evil 7. No, it's none of these big AAA games that you guys drool over. No, sir. The king of indies himself has been playing a lot of indie games. And yes, this is the one I like the best so far as third party goes. So, yes. Kev, did you do your Google search, sir, to make sure the games you've been playing came out this year?
So I've got 2, and both of them are probably not going to be popular choices, but whatever.
Mine weren't either, so it's all good.
So my first one is going to be Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh, get out of here!
So the reason I understand that it's fair, it still has its fair share of problems, but I've had some time to play multiplayer with friends, and the multiplayer is a solid component to the game, and technically you don't have to deal with most of the issues that were prominent in the story in the multiplayer. So that's the main reason why I'm going to put Mass Effect there, and I'll commend them for at least acknowledging that they had problems and trying to do something to fix them, but that's where I'll leave that. Other than that, the other third-party game that I'm going to note, and this will probably be my top one so far, and that's mainly because I haven't played many third parties this year. But I will say For Honor is a very far the online issues that it's had over its couple of months. But
you like a lot of imperfect games. Yeah, every game you mentioned so far, you're like, yeah, it's good, despite this problem, that problem.
Kev loves the underdog.
Yeah, I mean, every game has its flaw.
Not Wonder Boy.
I mean, I'll leave that to you then. But for Honor is a solid game. The mechanics are there, and I like the in terms of pivoting your weapon stance based on where you put the analog stick. And sorry, James in the chat said For Honor was last year, but I'm pretty sure it was released in February this year.
Did you Google that, sir? Did you Google it? Make sure you Google it, sir.
I remember picking that up in.
You don't want to ruin our credibility. You don't want to ruin our credibility, Kev. Just because you picked them in February doesn't mean it came out in February, sir.
Yeah, but I pre-ordered it, so that's why. It released February 14th.
Okay.
February 14th this year. So I think the controller mechanic and being able to position your weapon based on the analog stick movement is a great way to have a fighting mechanic as opposed to your traditional 2D or 3D fighter. So I really enjoy that, and I hope more games adopt that mechanic. I think Absolver, that's coming out next month, is using a similar mechanic for switching stance. So I do hope more games adopt that mechanic as well, because it's a smart one.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So last but not least, I want to hear everybody's favorite games from any other platform, whether it's PC, Xbox One, or the Switch. Does anybody have any favorite games that they played on those platforms?
Zelda, end of discussion.
What's that? Which one is that? What game?
Zelda, end of discussion.
Zelda, end of discussion. Yeah, Zelda on the Switch. You cannot argue with that.
You can end the podcast now.
Off of Zelda on the Switch. You can't argue with that. The sales, as far as that game goes, are tremendously well. Great reception. Gameplay looks great. Heard nothing but great things about it. So yeah, I have to, I can't give you no flack on that. Zelda seems like the truth. So yeah, good choice. Chris, you got one on another platform, or you just strictly PlayStation only playing?
I have only really been PlayStation, but I'm going to actually go for Zelda on the Wii U because it's kept my wife quiet for many hours, which is a good thing. So, yeah, I'm going to go for that.
So you haven't even played it, just your wife?
I'm gonna go for it because it's kept her out of. I was gonna say out of my hair, but I'm bald.
Kept her. Yeah, that's a good reason.
That's my reason for Zelda.
Kept her preoccupied. That's nice. So, for me, I played like Xbox One, like I said, but none of the games I played had released actually this year, so they don't fall into the category. Otherwise, I would say Ori, but it didn't release this year, obviously. So I have to say for other platforms, none. I mean, I don't have a Switch. Still in the process of building my PC. I need a CPU and a GPU still, so I haven't been able to play PC games. And as far as Xbox One games released this year, there are none. There are no games that I have been interested in on the Xbox One, like whatsoever, as far as like exclusives or console exclusives at all. 2017 has been extremely bare bone dry for me as far as game releases on the Xbox One this year. So, I mean, on the PC side, I think there are a couple of exclusives that I am interested in, like these are indie games, mind you, so you've probably even heard of them, but this game called Hollow Knight. It's a side-scrolling, black and white, dark game, action-adventure type of game. And then Dead Cells, which my man, shout out to Kev, the gamer, he tried to call me out on Twitter saying I'm not talking about Dead Cells, so I can't be the king of indies. But it's a roguelike type of action beat-em-up game. It does look good. I've been keeping my eye on it. I just can't talk about it or play it because I don't have a PC. But those are PC games I'm interested in. But yeah, man, I mean, for me, it's been mainly, as far as games released this year, it's been all on PlayStation, honestly. And PlayStation really has been the place to be for gaming this year so far. I will say that, whether it's games I played or games that have come out that I want to play still, it's all been on PlayStation as far as game release this year, you know. So, you know, hopefully Xbox will pick it up as far as, you know, get console exclusives. You know, they got some stuff coming in the end of the year and next year, so we'll see. But this has been the year of PlayStation for me, definitely. So far anyway.
Except for E3.
except for E3. Except for E3. Yep, E3. Sorry. Let's still stand by it. PlayStation conference and just what they had going on the showroom floor, how they had things structured. I wasn't impressed. I was not impressed with PlayStation at E3. Xbox did win E3 for me, and also their showroom floor stuff was better as well. Yes, sir, it was. But that's all we're gonna got. That's all we're gonna got. I'm sitting here trying to read something that said Ghana because I read Ghana. This is all we got for tonight. Anybody got any closing remarks before we head out of here? Anybody at all?
The real best game of the year was Kitty Powers. There you go.
Oh boy, help me.
There you go.
Kitty Powers from the first episode. Yep, the dating service game with the transgender jumping. Yeah, I remember that. Y'all crazy. Nah, man, but y'all crazy. Oh, Chris is crazy. Kev, you're still a smart, sensible one. Who happens to sound like a Dunbar from The Office. Is that his name, Dunbar?
Yeah. I think that sounds right, but we can always Google it. I mean,
Google is our friend. But yeah, great podcast. Shout out to everybody who joined. Hit that like button on your way out. We're about to go ahead and dip on out of here. Let us know in the comments if you check this out later. Let us know in the comments if you like what's your favorite PlayStation game, PlayStation exclusive, third-party game, favorite Xbox game so far, whatever you want to say. Let us know in the comments below. Shout out to the live chat, all that good stuff. Let's do our outros real quick, and we're going to say goodnight. Chris, British Beef, final thoughts and outro, sir.
Just want to say thanks, guys. A really fun chat tonight. Thanks to the chat as well. And a quick shout out to James, my fellow Wittertainee. Hello to Jason Isaacs.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Kev.
Thanks again, everybody, for coming on out. Good to be back on the podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at DarkTagger, and you can follow the podcast at TrophyLife_pod.
That's what's up. Yeah, make sure you guys follow Trophy Life on Twitter. Appreciate that, guys. Shout out to Chris Cobra. That's the man right there. Shout out to him and everybody else that's in the chat, all the good stuff. This is Nicodemus, the king of indies himself. This is Trophy Life episode 13. Make sure you guys also check out our website, tickgn.com. Great gaming entertainment over there. Make sure you subscribe to this channel for the latest on Xbox, PlayStation, and every single thing in between. And what else? What else do I get paid to say? I think that's it. We good, man. Make sure you guys also check out Double XP Podcast, which will be hitting us tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to that cast right there. Multiverse on Monday nights. And then we probably will be back next Tuesday. So be on the lookout for another exciting, thrilling episode of Trophy Life. You know what I'm saying? We keep it all the way gaming. And being that PlayStation has the most games, we talk about PlayStation. All right, man. We out of here. Peace. And thanks for watching.